Hey everybody, welcome back to Every Spin on Sports. This is our inaugural run for our podcast, and we're so pleased to have with us one of the greatest coaches in the Midwestern area and a good friend, Moses Manuel, ex-military man. Moses, you must be having some heavy heart knowing what's going on in the world today, especially over in the Middle East. And did you ever get involved in anything of that nature when you were in the service?
Yes, sir. I did my last tour in Iraq, the war against terrorists.
Oh, my God.
And I'm staying in the country 15 months. I hate to say it was the most horrible thing in my life I ever experienced. It's a total different ball game, war is.
Yeah.
And when you see how other people live compared to American citizens, we should be thankful in this country that we have what we have.
Yeah, well, I'm thankful.
Yes, sir.
And I know you are.
I'm very blessed.
I mean, I hear you every day I'm down here. When you're barking out orders, you kind of remind me of a young Pop Watts.
Okay, Pop. We can't forget Pop.
Oh my God, was he beautiful or what?
He was awesome to this club.
Yeah, he sure was, and he spent so many years down here, Moses. When I was in the Capital Caravan Club downtown in the old days, Pops was there, and he wasn't that far out of his professional boxing career. Everybody knows Emmanuel Stewart,
right?
The greatest coaches that ever coached.
Yes, sir.
And he told me one time that he saw Pops. Of course, Emmanuel's from Detroit, so was Pops. He saw Pops fight in Detroit on a number of occasions, and he said that Pop Watts was the best fighter that ever come out of Detroit.
What?
And that was something, because they had some great ones. Now, this is before Tommy got real good and this and that, but when you talk about, I think Joe Louis was out of there for a while, and Sugar Ray Robinson was out of there for a while, and Emmanuel, you know him as well as I do. He is just such a nice guy, such a nice person, and he loved boxing like you love boxing. And did you have a occasion to ever speak with Emmanuel on any length of time?
Yes, sir, I did, and it was the best experience in my life. I went down there, me and Harris.
Yeah.
We went to a crunk fight, and we fought Manuel Stewart, prime fighter. They call him Baby Tyson. Harris was the one have to fight him. Harris was a little shaking in his boot. He said, "Man, they call that kid Baby Tyson." I said, "We're gonna beat him." And so we fought him, Bob, and we beat him. And after the fight, I thought everybody was gonna boo because we beat a good fighter. Manuel Stewart came from his corner, shook my hand. He said, "You the first coach that ever out coached me. You did a beautiful job." I still live with that today from an honor from a great fighter himself, and an outstanding coach. Manuel Stewart gave me that well respect. I really admired that.
Yeah, he was so kind, and he.
Yes.
I met Emmanuel Stewart my first state AAU championship in 1967, and I fought a guy by the name of his name is escaping me now, but Gary Davis. And he was a pretty decent fighter, not real strong, but a pretty fancy boxer. And he looked ripe for a right hand, and according to Manuel, he said, "You got a really good right hand, you need to use that more." But he was always into coaching, He told me one time a story about Pops that Pops was in the Detroit City Gloves, Golden Gloves, and he fought Willie Horton, the famous Tiger, and he beat Willie pretty bad. I don't know if there's an age difference or whatnot, but when I see Willie Horton in a baseball uniform and I see him on the baseball field and I see a fight break out, I noticed that there's not a lot of people running at Willie Horton, So somehow or another, I thought this guy's got to be a little bit bad. But the great people that you meet, like Emmanuel Stewart. What are some of the great people that you remember meeting when you were there, local level and top level?
Well, for me, I don't know if you still remember, I met Aaron Pryor.
Oh,
I met him in Biloxi, Mississippi at a national Golden Glove where Harris fought.
Okay.
I met Aaron Pryor. I met Tommy Hearns in Detroit in person at a men's warehouse suit place.
Yeah, okay.
I met those two guys, and I think I met another. I believe I met Rod Jones in amateur.
Oh, yeah, great fighter.
Oh, Rod Jones and like the professional guys we had in Lansing, I know all of them.
Yeah.
But when you meet a
Roy Jones beat Fabian Williams at the Nationals. I was in the corner. Roy Jones got screwed in the Olympic Games, too. We all
Very
remember
shrewd.
that.
Yes, he did.
He was a great fighter.
But when you meet celebrity boxers like that, these guys are very humble. They sweet. They nice. They don't mind autographing stuff, taking pictures with you.
Yeah.
And that's something you'll never forget.
Yeah.
You'll never forget.
Yeah, and as a kid, a young boxer growing up, I got eyes wide open. Yeah, hell, they're as big as that spotlight right there. When I run into a guy like Ezra Charles or Joe Louis or some of the big time names that I remember when I fought out in Salt Lake City, Utah in '68. I got beat in the quarterfinals, a real close bout, and at the finals, they introduced these boxers that win these various awards. And I was introduced and won the Joy Maximum Sportsmanship Award. And of course, Joy Maximum was there and presented me with the award. And so you have a great opportunity to meet so many great people, not only great athlete boxers, but people associated with the game, the doctors and the judges and the referees and stuff. So from that standpoint, I feel very privileged to have been a part of a great sport.
And I also met Floyd Mayweather in the Golden Glove
Oh
District.
yeah.
And I met him when you had to put your ring up in Dee Dee.
Yeah.
Grand Rapids.
We took that down. He was fighting a guy from
Yes.
Chicago. I got a call, and turns out they want to put him in the small ring, as I recall. And he said, I don't want a small ring. He says, I know that Bob Every up in Lansing's got a big ring.
Right.
Call him and get his ring down here. So we all went down
Yes, we did.
and set it up and had great seats for the
Yes,
fight.
we did.
And,
Yes, we
it was those are the experiences that really people remember, and certainly I remember, and I'm sure that you remember them well. What is maybe one of your best memories of your involvement in boxing, if you can think of it?
When me and Emmanuel Stewart and Floyd Mayweather dad, we took a pose together. The picture's sitting up in my house today. I look at it every day.
Why isn't it in this gym?
Because I like it at my house.
Well, why can't I
Coach, let it come down here.
Coach, you get me that picture. I'll do a scan of it, and I'll give you your picture back, and we'll get a picture up, and it should be up here on the wall.
Yes, it's a highlight picture.
Yeah.
And it's just like I won a lottery with the Hall of Famers of coaches. It's just an honor when you take pictures with great fighters and great coaches.
Yeah.
So, but I'll make sure that picture get down here.
Good. You remember Murray Sutherland by any chance?
Yeah, I couldn't forget him.
Murray fought them all. Of course, I had the
Yes.
privilege to work Murray's corner for several years. When he fought
came
Matthew
from Crown.
Sadler. Well, yeah, he worked in Crown. That's for darn sure.
Right.
He was from Edinburgh, Scotland originally,
Right.
and
So,
he worked for Outdoor up in Saginaw, and he did Tough Man,
Right.
setups
Sure
and
did.
promotions. And then he was down there doing a Tough Man in Lansing, so he asked if he could use the gym to work out in, and he really liked it, the way he got looked at and stuff.
Right.
So he moved down here, and I was his coach for 3 or 4 years under Art's blessing.
Right, because I know you, Mary Sullivan used to spar some of your fighters.
Yeah, well, of
in
course.
training.
Yeah.
I don't know, did Butterbean come? But I
Butterbean was
did
here
meet-
he fought at the Armory, the place that Pat Gillespie, my good buddy Pat Gillespie owns now. We had Butterbean on a 4-rounder at the Armory one time. And Butterbean was, he was an assassin.
Yes,
he was a crazy guy. What an entertainment to watch.
Four-rounder champion.
Yeah. Well, what was your toughest fight? Do you remember who it was?
One of your fighters, Antonio Winston.
Oh, snake bite.
He was a dirty fighter, I can tell you.
Oh, come on now. One of my fighters being a
bit
dirty.
me
How
in the
can you
ring
say
on my
that?
shoulder, Bob.
Sounds like Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that was probably one of my toughest fights.
Yeah.
Tony Winston.
Tony was tough. People didn't know. I remember when he came into LCC for the very first time, that's when we were up in the wrestling room. We had been kicked out of the weight room, the box room, because they were turning into a big weight room.
Okay.
So we wrestled up in the weight room, and he came in and he fought, and he was fighting somebody, and he got knocked down, and Murray was there at the time, and Murray says, he ain't gonna go very far. And I said, you know what? I got a feeling about this kid. He was one tough Jose.
He was tough.
Won a state championship with the national championships, And
Yes, he
we had a lot of guys kind of like that had their own personalities. And while I think I was tough, and I think you're tough here, we understand that it's important for them to develop their own personalities.
Correct.
And we don't want to stifle anything, because they become better and stronger people that way. So
Yes, they do. And I remember you had one of the toughest gyms in the state of Michigan, and I always admired it because Lansing was known to have a tough team.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope to get back.
Yep.
A real tough fighting team for Lansing.
We're going to do this again. I mean, this is just a dry run, and I think it went well. And I like talking to you about boxing because you certainly know your game. So we're going to come back and do this a few more times, Moses. But I'm so privileged and proud to have Moses here as our guest. And thank everybody for tuning in. Every Spin on Sports. We'll be back. Check us out. See you later. All right, everybody. Again, thanks for tuning in for the inaugural set of Every Spin on Sports. My special guest, Moses Manuel, my trainer and a good friend of mine. And, we're looking forward to meeting with you guys every single week. We'll be on Facebook. And but thank you very much for taking the time to tune in and watch us and listen to our story. If you got any ideas for us down the road, we'll be having a graphic for the phone number on it that you can call into. And what we want to do is we want viewers, and the only way to do that is to maybe get you guys engaged somehow too. So anyway, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.